When you feel all alone in this world and there's nobody to count your tears, just remember no matter where you are, Allah knows.
Thank you for still being here at 5:45. Mashallah, you guys have done well staying throughout the whole day, so I would have to say mashallah, that's an achievement. Takbir. Mashallah, nah, honestly it's very good. You know, one thing I've realized about this, I guess it's more exaggerated here than anywhere else, is just the amount of TV screens and posters, and everywhere you drive around this city, honestly, it just stood out to me more than anywhere else I've ever been. And I've traveled to many countries, but Hong Kong is on another level when it comes to advertisements, marketing, TV screens. All you see is just lights, 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 lights everywhere you go, and it's really, really like, it's so overly emphasized. Whether it's, you know, I'm driving through, you see Marc Jacobs, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Prada, all like throughout the whole city, and it's like, this is too much. Well, like, and I'm sure many of you guys can understand, and I'm sure many of you guys would agree with me. The amount of materialism that is just pumping in this society is a lot. Like, it's really bad. And subhanAllah, you know, this is something which can destroy the nafs. It can destroy the soul. Because if you're thinking life is about how good you shall look, how fancy your clothes are, if you think this is your whole purpose in life, it will destroy you. Because wallahi, it will never, never, ever satisfy you. You get some nice clothes today, tomorrow there's going to be better clothes out, and you're going to want that. You might get some nice shoes today, your friend might have better shoes than you, you're going to say, no, I can't be wearing these on the same street as this brother. So we will never ever be satisfied with this. As the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, he goes, nothing will fill the belly of Adam's son. Nothing will ever satisfy us except dust when death comes. So we can chase after this, the looks, as the Mufti was saying last night, he said the cosmetic industry is the biggest industry in the world. Whether it's everyone just trying to look as good as they can, and now with the advent of social media, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Like, we have girls especially in Australia, we have girls, young girls that have become Instagram famous. Instagram famous means no one knows who these girls are. But what they do is they buy the best of clothes. Sometimes the shops actually give them clothes to model it. And no one knows who these girls are. But they become famous overnight. Why? Because like. And it's so superficial. It's so superficial. Like, it's so fake. And that's what kills us. And when we have young girls or young boys looking up to this image, we're setting ourselves up for destruction. Because the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he didn't set our standards according to the way you look. Your standards, your worth, has nothing to do with the way you look. Your worth is in the eyes of Allah. You might be someone with so much wealth today, so much good looks, so handsome today. Yawm al-Qiyamah, you are nothing. One of the Mashaykh who was saying, وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ. Allah says in the Quran that on the day of judgment, some faces will be bright. But why does he say some faces will be bright on that day? Because the reality is that in this life, not everyone's going to have that bright face. Not everyone's going to be looking so, gleefully. It's not how it is. But on that day is where we really see the standard of a person's worth, the standard of a person's success. So the poem I'll be doing, inshallah, maybe some of you have heard it before, but this was a poem which was really important to me. I've had, subhanallah, I've had a lot of experiences just dealing with people, and This was a poem I had written called The Greatest Woman. Some of you have probably heard this before, but it's just because I felt like not only women, but men, we have become confused about what is the worth of a person. Especially like the amount of attacks that are happening against Muslim women. You know, free yourself from this hijab, free yourself from oppression, you don't need this in your life. And it's really, really, you know, harmful to our identity. It's harmful to the way we understand who we are. So without further ado, this is a poem called The Greatest Woman. Bismillah. You know, something must be wrong when almost every single song has sex as its basis. When rap stars get famous after making lyrics that are shameless. When a woman is expected to scream for a man who doesn't even know what her name is. And when artists are paid to degrade the very women that have made them. To the point they are nothing more than pieces of plastic that we can dispose of once they are no longer attractive. It's sickening and sadistic that this world's become so misogynistic. And you can call me unrealistic, but just listen to the statistics. 7 in 10 men view porn, while over 75 million are addicted. 68 million requests a day for pornographic pictures, making 1 in 4 searches sexually related. It's like nobody even knew she existed until she got naked, degraded and abused, over and over again just to gain millions of views. It's a shame we've subdued the definition of beauty is so misconstrued as we judge each other's looks off of Facebook likes, Instagram pictures to filter off what we really look like. See, we are so focused with our outside, we have slowly lost sight of who we really are in real life. I mean, it's sad to see so many teens lose their self-esteem. Looking at these magazines, thinking they have to look like what they see. Please, you are worth much more than a 2D image on a screen. You are a living, breathing human being, if only you knew what you truly mean. Just look into your history books and begin to read of all the girls in the world who are capable to achieve, and you will surely see with certainty females like Fatima al-Fihri, who opened the first ever university, Rufayda al-Islamiyya, the first nurse to perform surgery, and Aisha bint Abi Bakr, the greatest female scholar in eternity. It's a shame we probably haven't even heard of these great female prodigies. Honestly, we don't need to give up our modesty in order to be successful. For you are worth much more than an object that is sexual. You have so much more potential. If only you knew your worth. You could be like the greatest of all women to have walked this earth. Like Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen by Allah to be an example for the believers. A woman who stood strong even when she was abused, falsely accused and ridiculed for things she didn't even do, so it didn't really matter when nobody else was beside her. But she knew that God was Ar-Razzaq and her ultimate provider. And she had a trust in Him alone. Just like Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, a woman who was brave and courageous, stood up for what was right and didn't let anybody change this. A woman who was fearless and laughed in the face of death. For she gave up the riches of this life for a palace in the next. Next up, Khadija, the mother of the believers, a wealthy merchant who had nurtured the Prophet for over 25 years. His first wife, the love of his life, and the mother of his kids. She was the first to believe in him when nobody else ever did. She just is. Beyond any words that can make you understand. So much so that even Allah sent her His salam. She was grand and Allah assured her, just like her daughter, Fatima, the master of all women in paradise, A woman who would shine so bright she was nicknamed as Zahra, the splendid one with the most generous of hearts. A woman who gave up so much of her food she had no choice but to fast. She would fight on behalf of her father even as a little girl. And such are the examples of the greatest women in the entire world, and it had nothing to do with how they looked, but for who they truly were. So ignore the standard of success defined by society, when God has said that the best of mankind are those who have piety, regardless of your shape, your color, or your race. For God does not look at your bodies, nor does He look at your face. Rather, He looks towards your heart and checks its faith. So at the end of the day, ignore what the people say, and no matter what they say who you are, if you can be like the greatest of all women in the eyes of Allah. Jazakallah khairan.
Just remember, no matter